The Little Mermaid, once upon a time, in the deep blue sea, where the sunlight danced through the waves and the coral gardens sparkled like jewels, lived a young mermaid named Ariel. Ariel wasn't just any mermaid. She was the youngest daughter of King Triton, the ruler of the underwater kingdom of Atlantica. Ariel was curious, brave, and had a heart full of dreams, especially one dream that was different from any of her sisters. While her sisters were content with their underwater lives, Ariel had a fascination with the human world. She often swam close to the surface to catch glimpses of the world above, marveling at the ships, the birds, and the strange, wonderful objects that floated down from the surface. Among these objects, Ariel was most enchanted by a mysterious item called a fork, which humans called a dinglehopper. She found it amusing and often used it to comb her hair, much to the amusement of her fish friends. One day, Ariel swam up to the surface with Flounder, her best fish friend, and Scuttle, a seagull who fancied himself an expert on human things. They floated just below the waves, peeking out cautiously. Ariel's eyes widened as she spotted a grand ship sailing across the horizon. The sailors on deck were singing and playing music, and among them was a prince with the most captivating smile Ariel had ever seen. As the sun began to set, a storm brewed suddenly. Thunder rumbled, and lightning cracked across the sky. The wind howled, and the waves grew fierce. Ariel and her friends watched in horror as the ship was tossed around by the storm. The prince and his crew struggled to keep the vessel afloat, but soon, the ship was engulfed by a giant wave. Ariel could see the prince being thrown into the tumultuous sea. Without a second thought, Ariel dove into the water, her heart pounding. She fought her way through the churning waves, finding the prince unconscious and struggling to breathe. Ariel wrapped her arms around him, her powerful tail propelling them to safety. She reached the shore and carefully laid him on the sand. As the storm subsided, Ariel watched over him, hiding behind a rock. When the prince awoke, he saw Ariel's silhouette in the moonlight and heard her soothing voice singing a beautiful melody. But before he could see her clearly, Ariel quickly swam back into the water, hiding from view. The prince was left with only a vague memory of the enchanting voice and a mysterious feeling of longing in his heart. Days passed, and Ariel couldn't shake the feeling of longing for the prince. She visited the shore often, hoping to catch a glimpse of him. Her father, King Triton, noticed her growing sadness and was concerned. Ariel told him about the prince and her desire to live in the human world. King Triton was furious and forbade her from going near the surface again. Desperate to be with the prince, Ariel sought out Ursula, the sea witch who lived in a dark, twisted part of the ocean. Ursula was cunning and devious, but Ariel was willing to take any risk. She made a deal with Ursula. In exchange for her voice, Ariel would receive human legs and the chance to live among humans for 3 days. If she didn't win the prince's love by the end of the 3rd day, she would belong to Ursula forever. Ariel agreed, and, with a wave of Ursula's magic wand, she transformed into a human. Her beautiful voice was gone, replaced by a pair of legs that felt strange and wobbly. Ariel hobbled to the shore and saw the prince's castle in the distance. With determination, she began her journey. The prince, who had been searching for the mysterious girl with the enchanting voice, was amazed to find Ariel. Though she couldn't speak, her kind eyes and gentle demeanor won his heart. They spent the days together, exploring the kingdom and sharing joyful moments. The prince was enchanted by Ariel's spirit and kindness, though he remained puzzled by her inability to speak. As the 3rd day approached, Ariel began to worry. She knew that Ursula's magic was powerful and that the time was running out. Meanwhile, Ursula had been plotting to take advantage of Ariel's predicament. She disguised herself as a beautiful human and tricked the prince into thinking she was the girl who had saved him. On the night before Ariel's transformation would be complete, Ursula's disguise went to the prince's castle. He was captivated by her voice, which was strikingly similar to Ariel's. Ariel, devastated, realized that if she didn't act quickly, she would lose everything. With Flounder and Scuttle's help, Ariel hatched a plan to expose Ursula's true identity. They sneaked into the castle and managed to reveal Ursula's deception. The prince was shocked and heartbroken, but soon realized that Ariel was the true girl of his dreams. In a climactic battle, Ariel and her friends faced Ursula and her dark magic. With the help of the sea creatures, Ariel fought bravely. The prince, seeing Ariel's bravery and true love, joined in the battle. Together, they managed to defeat Ursula and break her spell. With Ursula's defeat, Ariel's voice was restored, and she and the prince were finally able to express their feelings for each other. Ariel's father, King Triton, saw how strong and brave his daughter had been. He realized that her love for the prince was true and pure. In a heartfelt moment, he granted Ariel's wish and allowed her to remain human. Ariel and the prince were married in a grand ceremony celebrated by both the underwater kingdom and the human world. Ariel's dream had come true, and she found happiness not only in the love of the prince, but also in bridging the two worlds she had always longed to be a part of. And so, Ariel lived happily ever after, embracing her new life with love and joy, always cherishing the adventures that had led her to her happily ever after. The end.